Je Jodon Dojin Jono La Janja Bardo Dono Josam Daga Janzo Jebe Tonum Je Rola Penjaro Sanje Drabarash Sanje Jodon Dojin Jono La Janja Bardo Dono Josam Daga Janzo Jebe Tonum Dola Penja Sanje Drabarash Sanje Jodon Dojin Jono La Shansha Bada Dana Jasam Je Daka Shanto Jebe Tonam Dola Benja Sanje Drabasho. Good morning again.
Good morning. Good morning, Geshe.
Amako, you okay? You need a big blanket?
Wow, the wind was so bad in your house, we could hear it on the mic.
Yeah.
You must be freezing.
Very strong wind.
I'm warm.
Yeah, make sure everyone get warm, okay? Don't be cold. Even if you don't have that big heat, you can get small heat, then put your house. Okay. I think I already talked a lot this morning. Then I don't have to talk so many things. Wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay. Therefore, now every morning we do a little bit of meditation for the karma body. Takasang tandinga nganzo ta shine gomta de ko kaptu rang tagaran ko samata de yorwas te tab de wondo ore. Yang telete se tajet chewana yang chia yore.
So last time we, until now we've been just meditating straight into a calm abiding. So made it a little bit straight, but we can make it even more elaborate also.
제자 남주 베나 다 남배기 냠렘바지 힘바이나 아니 베나 심해 신에 마트베 냐라야 아니 조회 가로 조회 추토기 냠레 지가 요레스.
And so as from the Buddhist perspective, before you do the actual practice of the calm abiding, you engage in the 6 preparatory practices.
대 가르스나 아니 소소 신에 들어가들아야 지 땡에 받체 마용와 아니 지가 소소고 냠레 약보용하게 쳤다 아니 다 샵땡소다 오래 갑툭 쇼샤와이나.
So that's done because of bringing success in the practice of the calm abiding, and to not have any obstacles in achieving the realization of calm abiding.
다 더조시당 징에대다 남주변나 냠레 이름부 제등에변나 주제 뭐보다 나와변나 로슴 다슴 삼등이라나 원에 전화 다디가도 곰마모 곰전에 잡고 해서 다 망하셔가도 나지 사대로 제가 다 들고 아니다 곰도 잡이 그래.
So this is usually done by the practitioners who do long retreats, like 3 years, 3 months, 3 days retreat. So during the retreat, they're supposed to be doing a lot of meditation, so for which calm abiding is really necessary. But nowadays, when people say they're doing 3 years retreat, then they mostly spend just reciting mantras.
디가라 다 대상 아니 대파 잡라치 않고 자기도 아니 딱 고치지 받을 로슴 삼대 말에 지지 말에 로트세 되는 용어도 지당 배획 로솔라 다도 싸마체네 파데 밀랍다고 말했어.
And nowadays, not only that, but even becomes like a boasting thing. People say, "Oh, I did this many long retreats, and so many like that." And advertising to other people. So according to the Dharma, should not be advertising to other people. Should be kept in a secret.
아니 삼성 끊고 송도 앞에 아니 다 냠렌다 간제 빼자야고 따요면서 따시 따주나 하고 말했어. 따시 그 리파사고 땅 그래서. 아니 가만 거네. 아니 지금 렌잡 저바트 렌잡나 아니 하고 그래서 송도 같아. 전부 다 곰야보 잡요다 로스도 아니 콘로질란다 아니 하고 그래서 다 곰야보 쇼요메데.
So like His Holiness used to say that whether someone is expert, in the text or not, in the Dharma, text or not, is not determined by someone who can debate well. And of course, someone who can debate well can be very talkative. He can talk about all sorts of things, so can do lots of debatings. But can be determined by somebody who is sitting facing to the audience and answering the questions about the Dharma. Will determine whether the person is really learned or not. And so just like that, somebody who have done, who claims to have done so much and so long retreats, whether their mind is really subdued or not, can be tested by by making them to become angry. So if they become angry easily, then that means they haven't really subdued.
땡군들라든 삼선 및 가시에나 당연히 고도 누가 라게마다 다시 빼면도 야보러 안도 내니 마치 빼나 너라치 삼대 도문도 야보더래다 빼 야보래 삼선 양 드네 제대양 아니치 콘로 차다 가제 치야다 따반토데 레기도 왔다 또 삼들 남도 야원 로메 따로 있어.
So of course I'm not criticizing those who are doing retreat for 3 months, 3 years, 3 days like that. Of course this is a great thing to be able to do that. In our case, we can't even do for a day or a week. So somebody who's doing for that long time is something to be admired. But then and on the other hand, if they become more arrogant or boastful and more angry and so forth, then that shows that practice of their retreat has not really become fruitful.
삼사대가도 자와 안에도 고로 차들라 되네요. 진짜 고녀매지.
So I don't know, maybe sometimes you might have heard it. Sometimes people say that monks and nuns are even more impatient or more easy to get angry than other people.
근데 요라 차도스.
They're more troublesome.
예, 다땡가도 주도서면도 제자 안에 남주 검제하고라 다 요베 추르도 전도하고 오라. 다 간다 요베 추르 가르치는 전나 간도 셴네 드베다 람로 요시들이다. 셴네 드는 가르치나 단단 간도 그 샘데 지 개와도 먹게 무슨 소수 가르치지는 말이야. 이제 샘거 가르치지만 간도 가르치는 샘부 제도면도 와. 다 소수 강 너너들 샘 티콜 파 코트와 존나 안에 다 셴네 사야 되고 시장에 대와서 연구를 했어.
Anyway, that is none of our business to judge about other people. But most important thing is to subdue our own mind. And for that, calm abiding is very important. And in order to be able to gain the realization of calm abiding, it is important to have all the necessary favorable conditions and to have got rid of all the unfavorable conditions or obstacles. And so for that, we need to do the practice of the 6 preparatory rites. And when we do that in order to gain the realization of calm abiding. So once we have gained the realization of calm abiding, then we can control our mind easily. We can place our mind wherever we want to place. And so we can make our mind follow us. Right now, we're following our mind. We just do whatever mind tells us to do. And so we have to be able to make our mind do what we want it to do. And so for that, having calm abiding is very important. So once you have that realization, and then you can drive your mind anywhere you want. Wherever you want to place it, you can place it. Wherever you want to take it, you can take it.
제가 빼잖아 두대 안에 수수 리다 셈니 안에 개베쇼라 수수 가린 렌더지 파 꼬르마 조토바지 쇼나 아니 시장세대 토크레스 시장세대레스 다 거대 오잖아 데레스.
So once you have achieved that mental pliancy, the flexibility of the mind, where you can put it wherever you want it, and that also brings the physical pliancy. And so in that way, even if you have to meditate for long hours, your body will not, ache and anything. So you gain this both, mental and and physical plans through which you will be able to do all your practice through body and mind very easily.
제가 든지 쇼나 야보 요소래서 대가도 저와 네가 들에 든지 쇼나 야보 요소래서.
So is this something that you all desire?
단단한도
Happy
뭐도
if you have that?
대고다.
You like
든지
to have it?
예사래서 뭐 그거.
Oh, I definitely have had that problem of being very angry and defensive
야,
when
제가 다
challenged.
제가 단단한도 배나 곰다고 잡나 지금 너와지 사용도 지지 태양도 전에 대토금도.
So right now our mind is not focused, right? It's not focused, like when we compare in percentage, not even like 1%, so it's very difficult. But when our mind is 100% focused, then we will feel nothing. So you will feel nothing. Right now, when we try to do meditations, our mind easily goes around, gets very easily distracted, or we feel something itching on our head, or some pain in the back, or in the on the hips, or something like that, knees and so forth. Right? So we always feel that. But once you gain the 100% focus, on that meditation object of the meditation, then you won't feel anything.
아 든리데 용와 든리 토발라 아니 때 토야 아니 땅가도 깔리자고 쫀리고 그래. 딩할라 쫀리고 그래. 쫀리데 다티 시장 제차고 요래.
And of course, so the benefits I explained about is for one to understand that benefit, and then one will have the wish. So first thing is to have the wish, which you all have, right? And now just having wish is not enough, so you have to make effort. That's the second cause for achieving karma abiding.
뭐 아니 대용화라 야 딩에던 덤바고 그래. 젠데건 덤바면 나가도 깔리자니 조고 말고 덤바고 그래서 다ting 오늘
So
고고
you have to
있어.
have that wish or aspiration, to be able to make the effort, right?
아니 대링 덤바디 용화라 아니 다 대라 가오 가지 대바고 그래서.
And then to have that wish, you have to like it. You have to want to have it, right? And if you don't have that wanting or liking, then you will not have that wishing. And so that's what we call the faith. So having that faith or or wish, or wanting to have it.
오케이. 제 장가 당본 레버드 가림바 하코와이나 아니 대랑가도 톰데 델 젠데까지 대파용 그래서 대파대 용나 안에 델은 넘바지 그래서 다치 제고 넘바오래 넘바요나 안에 델 깔리 잡토 그래서 깔리 잡토나 안에 레버 시장 토 그래서 대코 젠데 로단로 되네래서.
So if you know the result, the fruit, of the benefits, of the karma abiding, and then you will have faith in it, and then you will have the aspiration. If you have the aspiration, then you will make the effort, and through the effort, you'll be able to achieve the result. So that's how it goes.
오케이. 다대 골드. 다대 아니 가도 아니 다 레로도 마야 오시대 때 레로도 마야 오시대 되고 그래서.
And of course, when you make an effort, then you will also counteract the laziness. So you need the effort in order to overcome the laziness.
오케이. 다 되니 냠내 야보용 올라 땅 가도 비나 가지 슐로군 튼지에 세가나 뭐도 간지 다소 바체 마용와 아니 다소 람로 저가도 디 잡혀 고요. 와.
And in order to be, like I said, in order for this practice to be successful, you have to also remove the obstacles that may obstruct one from achieving these results.
제 배전은 가서 수보 야보용 쳐도 칼라 야포사야. 대양 칼라 지가로 아니 수보라 펜도용에 다가 고 저거 잡아치고 말 대랑 수보라 펜도용에 수보라 만노게 되는 뭐사 대사회에 대게야 수보 야보용하고 차가 여러 대소로 그러와.
So it's like if you want to have a healthy body, you have to eat a food. You have to have the favorable condition, like eating food. But you can't just eat any kind of food. Just something to fill your stomach is not good enough. It has to be a good food, and it should not be a food that can cause sickness and disease in your body. Right. So you have to remove those food obstacles, and then you have to provide the good food, the favorable condition, and with that you will have a healthy body.
어제 다 되지 다 되는 제와나 아니 다 되게 조비 추루도 지나서 제가 하고 오셨다 라브람 남도나 지금 땅 고들 막 요래서
And you're all familiar with the 6 preparatory practices, right? This is already explained in the Lam-rim teachings, like the liberation in the palm of your hand at the beginning already, right?
아니 다 대림보 쇼요래 빼 몽보 요래서
And it's quite a long, lengthy practice.
근데 디나라 연라도 냠내도 탄데 요래서
And that also includes the practice of the 7 limbs.
간지 아니 다 아니 드파샤 당 소는 거 촉사야 되레스 간지 조비 추루고 냠내데
So the practice of the 6 preparatory, the main reason for that practice is to purify the negativities and to accumulate merits.
제가 노 책도 와배나 아니 담보데 내칸 슈더 셔봐서 간지 소소 대사데 다시 당 시제도 담으르다 아니 쇼게야 라면 남주잖아 다 고미하고 장에도 돌려다 아니 담아야보 제요레스
And so first, it starts with cleaning the place, the shrine room where you're going to do the practice. Of course, in your case, most of the time, you guys keep your room, especially the shrine room, very clean, right? So you might need to do the cleaning all the time. But in the actual practice, you start with cleaning the room where you're going to do the practice.
그러나 아니 배나 간도 자본으로 뺀보로 뭐 첨보질나 사자데 담아슈 속으로 뒤섭단로 간지 산제도 셔줘서 뭐 못텔라야 딜레쇼 그와인자 아니 담아지와나 아니 소소고야 람도도 팽겨래.
And so just like, when you invite a very important person in your house, you clean the house very well, right? And so just like that, in the shrine room where you're going to do the practice, you'll be inviting all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from all the 10 directions. And so when you're going to invite such an important figure in your room, then you have to do the cleaning as well.
아니 대지오다 딱 구성 두지 내가 집발에 내가 쇼도 구성 두지 때한테 대지 사실 담보다 아니 담보 담아서 아니 대내 구성 두지도 단데 요한다 소소 파신 제거를 찍다올 당가 근데 요가 그리나 하고 쌈 샤샤르면데 대 소소인지 예원도 알레네.
And of course, you have to set up the representative of the body, speech, and mind, like statues, scriptures, and stupas on the altar. Usually, we don't have to arrange it every day. Like you already have it on your shrine, so you don't have to arrange it. So what you do is in the morning before you set up the offerings, you just look through, so get the vision of the holy objects, holy beings and holy objects. Look through the statues, scriptures, and stupa, or the images of the gurus, like that. You look through them and admire, and then develop faith and devotion in them, wanting to become like them, to benefit others, like that. So you can, with that, you have to go look through, all the scriptures and statues and images of the Buddhas and gurus.
제가 되게 냠래도 빼나 배외가 최소한을 빼 슈첨버리자 빼나가도 내 콘로야다 라가는 존재들보다 또 데려도 되게 막 슈첨이 되버린도.
So that's the reason why people go on pilgrimage. So that's a very common practice, or activity in Tibetan Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhist follower among the Tibetan Buddhist followers. So like we go pilgrimage, to all these places. What do? We look. Mainly, it's just look at the holy objects, and then pay respect, make prostration, and so forth. So that's the reason. It's the same thing. So you have all these holy objects in your room. You just have to look them and then admire.
근데 제가 아니 된된 제외 갑라야 되게 고소 투지 그러나 아니 연대 전에 수수 셈라 개베 파샤랍 첨부 샤야마 아니 팽교서와.
And then think about their qualities, their excellent qualities of their body, speech, and mind, and then develop a strong wish, to have such kind of quality for oneself as well, like that. So by thinking like that, you leave a strong imprint in your mind to have that kind of qualities within yourself.
세상에도 베벨 놀라 텐데시라 요 말에 변나 단다 네테 데벨 루기 바나 변나 하나라야 부모도 변나 수본 텐데만로 하비 주고 건네 바 하비도 조초면 더 치네 빼면서 아니 다는 지가 산지 그 잡로로셔네 빠치네 잡주면 더 거기서 빼 담보요래 나 나도 배워라야 텐데스케 요 말에 이나 베벨게 시다 하나나 르베칼라 아니 다 너마이나 빼면서 도로에 바나 가로 지 가셔로다 and Tseten Denpa Kunde Dogres.
So it's not really strict, in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, but in like Theravadan tradition, I have seen that women, when they go into the temples, they cannot expose, their bodies, or like, wear a short shirts or skirts and go into temple. Not, it's not allowed at all. And then also taking a picture, of oneself, taking a selfie of oneself or picture of oneself with the images of the Buddhas in the background is not complete, and it's not allowed at all. And of course, in Tibetan tradition also, among the Tibetans, among the Tibetan people, they always dress up properly when they're going to the monasteries or temples like that.
다든지 영화대 간제 아니 대가 고송 두된들이야 아니 지금 마케바 마도 시대 아니 기접 체크들에도
And it's not, restricting to us, to make it difficult for us, but it's more to like, be respectful and not be disrespectful, to the holy objects.
제가 배는 안도 배는 지나서 다 넘쇼를 롱반도 배나 배는 총도 첨부라고 내가 첨부 거와이나 배나 가로 나로텔레 쇼트와 대강라도 지금 대골라 술 막은 와치 매 셴바도 술 거나 소소고 술 거메 와치 단다 쇼트 집어 건 안에 타잡나 셴바 간데 셴바도 술 거에나 코라 거메나 아니 감 셴바도 막히와도 건도 지기도 와.
And so just like even in our conventional world, like here in the United States, when there is a important meeting with all these important people, and you always dress up properly in the suits, right? And so among all these people who are dressed up in the suits, and if you go in the t-shirts, people will think that you are very disrespectful, right? Like that. It's just like that.
제단 내일 깨지 다도 강가 제단 파 규정은 되다 이사로 받고 미파절로 규정은 되대.
And also like wearing a tie, is that to show respect to others?
그래.
Is it like that?
누구 사시대.
Or just to decorate yourself?
다 가들 안에 미파절로 규정체에 빼는 거 세부도 단 점을 찍도 와.
So anyway, it's very important, to show respect to others, right? The whole world consider that and that very important, to show respect to others.
그 주쇼 샤그 말와.
It's not, to do with the religious and only, right?
제단한 것도 주쇼라 안에 남준으로 다든지 제장아 안에 다들 가르쳐내로.
George.
No, I lost where I've talked to. 알레 제자 안에 그것도 그때 좀 써야 돼. 제단 남준도 정말 기실한테 요리 지나서 기초가 쇼게 야라 야차 나도 피증 막게 코로나가 피그래. 아니 쇼게 야라는 편에 추도 제가 사실 추도 찔는데 아니 다 담주하고 아니 지 야차 피하다 부피하다 차타야다 구도도 쇼게 따바지 찍질라 아니 도시 삐르케네 지네케네 아니 세컨 카젤 쇼디어들이 이거 다도 내가 그래도 와.
이승부도 알았어. 대신셔버 ken고 찌르다 콜다쿠데 세다시 이건데 개교처에서 뭐잖아. 대라거나 나서 요죠.
어데데.
소소나 지금 코로나 전화도 나중에 영어 쉬었어요.
어데데 어때 되는지도 모름 작은도 어데데. 대신 샤바 치키 지나도 어디서 모름 작을 다 지나서 가 요만이 저랑 그 두매 좀 가. 나와 가요 영화 좀 가든지 영화 쇼 들어오고 요래서.
So I don't know, maybe some of you know Geshe Tulga, right? So Geshe Tulga used to do that all the time. In the morning, he never let his attendants or other people do the offerings. He would do himself. He will do the water bowl offerings and incense offerings that he does, and in the morning, all the time by himself. And then when he's carrying offering incense, then he will look through all the images, and then recite this verse. That's like. And the verse, so like, all the Buddhas, just like you, may I and all other beings become just like you. There's a verse. And he will recite that verse and then look through all the images of the Buddhas.
어제 다들 뭐 제자 아니 근데 지나서 미치라 트와트는 구르굴라 준소는 비바야 꼭 가래요 트와트나 준소 다 남지 딱 봐 영어 등에서 렌잡서래.
So if someone were to ask you, those of you who've been to Kurukulla Center every day, not every day, every time when there is a teaching, you've been there for a long time. So if someone were to ask you, how many statues are there in Kurukulla Center and what kind of statues you have in the Kurukulla Center? Will you be able to answer?
다 중앙 중심부터도 한번 다 내가 제 조도를 가리가리 원래는 저들 접서를 했어.
I mean, there are so many statues. Some very tiny ones, even the tiny ones there, like the Tsatsans and so on. Of course, you might not remember all of them, but there's the main statues, like, main statues, big statues, main statues. Do you remember them?
어제 대 가는 대 도나 제고도 그 소설로 속사에 팽도 와.
So it's, you have to kind of pay attention to those. That helps to accumulate merit for yourself.
어제 내가 제대로 진짜 구도도 있던 잠바세 돼. 나도 담보 내가 주요치 담보대 자리 대체고를 해서 신의 야보 고마이나.
So that's the first of 6 preparatory practices, is cleaning the shrine and setting up the representative body, speech and manner of the Buddha.
제가 아니야 전화도 어디다 시당으로도 다시 나 대내 뒤질라다 저와지 아들은 저바샴 거랬어. 저와 요만 받고 원 대바샴 바스. 가지 때다 그런고 요도 지지 뭐를 저바 소수고 세나 명에게 저바 야보지 다 나도 출을 세나 명에 출을 샴 거래서.
And then after you have set up the object, the holy object, and then you have to make offerings in front of them. So you make the offerings, like it says, a proper offering or undeceptive offerings, and it's offerings that were acquired without deceiving others, or other cheating or deceiving others. And so that kind of offering, so it has to be pure, proper, pure offering. And so you make offerings of those, and also there's like soft offerings that is not polluted, unpolluted. It's like clean and unpolluted offerings. So then there's unpolluted, like physical unpolluted, like the water, like a pure water, not murky water like that. So pure, clean, clear water. And then there's also pollution, polluted by mind, like motivation, with the motivation, or like especially with the miserliness. If you make offerings, out of miserliness, I don't want to offer. You have to like hold it back to yourself and say, okay, anyway, I'll offer. If you offer like that, then that's polluted also by mind, and that kind of offerings. So you have to offer. So usually you offer the offerings, offer the things that you don't feel stingy about. And in Tibet, we use this like, there's a flowing of water all the time. So if you just, water is very good, clean, and very, and important for your life. So very nice thing, right? So therefore you just make the offerings of the water, and it's very good, it's clean, it's pure, and it's not, solid by impure motivation also.
내가 또 별아야 초연라 젠데서 벽에 쳐대 빼 무슨 벽이야 싸마치 아니 별아 그리고 내가 뭐 보이 초연라 젠데서 해야 돼 같이 쳐들고 지주마로 제트야 요래서.
And so in Tibet, they say about the water in Tibet has these 8 different qualities, a good qualities of the water, and so you have to make water offering, offering of water like that.
제가 아니 대별 쳐대고 남주 초 다음에 출 세나요 말에 가지 피벌 다 내랑가도 출응이 제거한다 양코 세날 삼솔레기도 와.
So in Tibet, like I said, the water just flowing like from the stream, flowing from the mountains, and there's nobody who owns it. And so you can just go and get it and then just offer. So you don't feel stingy about it, right? But here you have to pay for the water. So it might be stingy maybe.
어떻게 다들 되네 간제 아니 소소가 아니 지금 간제 다부즈와도 맞으면 간제 아니 아치 소소 응수 지피하면 나고 피비 미바치까지 들이제고 있어와.
And then, of course, if you can't make actual offerings like physical, actually arranged offerings, then you can do also mental offerings. Mental offering, you can just imagine all kinds of offerings there are. And then also there is like the offerings that the things that you own and unowned offerings, unowned things. And so you can make offerings of the unowned things also, the things that you do not own. And so you don't have to take it from them and give it to the Buddha like that, but you can just imagine offering those things that belongs to others to Buddha also.
어디 다 되는 집부터 아니 되니 아니 숨바데 되네 다 소소 대사 가오는 마 대치 아니 리남나가 주되되네 아니 다 기초 잡고 혹시 되고 그래서
then after you have done the offerings, then you sit down in 7 postures of the Virachana.
다도 저시를 잠고지. 아니 대제에서 아니 대니 다 아니 조지 삽다고 그래. 가지 조지.
So after you have done that, then you visualize the merit field.
제가 다 대라야 아니 지 군대 내빌로다 아니 지 다 람람 조지 시다 아니 가로 기디만 보다 차상 제나 상지다 차지도 마보 갈래 거다. 근데 아니 섬나 마샤나 간제 수수근 되려야 아니 상지 좀 된데 단단가도 가리 이제 봐 되나지. 아니 랑가 오랑가 수수 잡을라 많이 발라 남바 상지 좀 된데 대야 상지다 셔셔서 막 탐주 지 상지 근데 주게 된지 예사매지 다 상다고 그래서
And for that, of course, you can visualize as expensive or extensive as possible. But there's also this tradition of visualizing one that combines all. So just visualize one figure, like Buddha Shakyamuni, and then it says that combines all the 3 jewels, like all the Buddhas, all the Dharma, all the Sangha is all in there. So you can just visualize, think that, that Buddha, one figure of the Buddha, that you have visualized, or Guru you have visualized, think that that combines all the 3 jewels.
다 대치즈가 갈라 아니 딘도나 다까지 다 사장근에 연락돼 면하다 제바 어디까지 사장근 네스 아니 연락까지 연락되게 냐면 제고 요래서
And then, so then after you have visualized the merit field in the presence of the merit field, in front of that, then you make the 7 limb offerings in order to accumulate merit and to purify the negativities.
어디지 다 대치가 아니 담아다 아니 메다피고도 와다 메다
And then to increase even more offering, more merit, then you make the offerings of mandala.
어제 다 대치서 다 단다 산지 좀 된데 90초를 삼당에 왔어. 아니 대파 대려야 란라니 바지 체지 춘주지 영어지 아니 소소가 받는 네게 텐데 와지라야 아니 춘주지 야대지 학바키로 와도 지 조고 사고 넘을 텐데 내가 삼당고 근데 다 대라 다 신의 미 빠텔라 삼당 되고 그래서
And now, so that a figure of Buddha Shakyamuni that you have visualized, who combines all the 3 jewels, right? So now imagine, from the merit field, imagine a replica of that Buddha, replica of Buddha coming right, in front of you at the level of your forehead, somewhere there, at the level of your forehead. And now that, a replica of the Buddha is very clear to you, right? And it's very stable, clear, just sitting there, not moving around with the wind like that, but just very stable there. And now that is going to be your object of the calm abiding meditation.
오케이. 제가 단다 안에 리나는 거 춥던데 되는 바 우은종도 자가 대가는 로샤를 우은종 검사를 해서 검사고 그래서
And so after you have sat down in the 7 posture of the Virachana, and you do the breathing meditation, and then you do the visualization, right? And then and the limb offerings, and then you now bring the replica to the forehead level and of your forehead and in the front of you, and now the visualize, and then focus on that all the time.
아 지나도 들어가니 말아 다 든지 마보지 고운데 다 나락 다 파지 산지 꾸중하고서 다 가와 샤거나 가왕가나 다 로송 첨보레샤스 야 샘지 질레그레스 샘지 대와시
And then again, some you might feel like, oh, this is so expensive. This practice is so extensive, and and now I have to set up a shrine, and now I have to have an altar, and now I have to have a statue of Buddha. So it's going to be expensive to buy a statue. So you might have this kind of stress going in your mind.
제가 대인심이 되게 고고 말했어. 아니 개세 쇼나 소소 연한 저기 개세 매번 하나 안에 지금 상제 좀 된다고 아니 지금 당가로 대면나다 고버지는 저기 그랬어.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't have to be a statue, and it doesn't have to be a statue made of gold or made of silver or bronze or like that. It can be any kind of statue, and if you cannot afford that, you have to be happily willingly, do that, to purchase that and so forth. If you don't have that, then you don't have to do that. You can just have a Thanga portrait, or even just a picture, like a print out of the Buddhas, just to get idea how Buddha looks and so forth. Just for that, simple, like just a print out of the Buddha's image.
되지. 아니 다 산제 꽃이. 다 송들라 쇼나 가라서 아니 지금 로게 덴베 지름 보시기 지나나 아니 쇼나 람름 쳔보지나 약보요레스.
That's for the body, right? And the body, and then for the speech, you have to have a scripture, right? So scripture or text. So usually, like because we're studying Lam-rim now, so if you can have a scripture or text of the Lam-rim Chen-mo, the great stages of the path to enlightenment by Lama Zopa, would be very good.
다 그새 람름 쳔보 잡으면 아니 다 로소 남습니다. 야만나 연대 시기 잡이라 그러와.
And if you cannot acquire that, then at least you can have any other text, like the three principles as well as the path text, or or the foundation of all good quality text.
어디 단내 단지 송치 다 등선질라 아니 다 지나서 파지면 연낭강도 빼나 저거 있는데 저거 되나 강가 거송도도 강가 상거든 것도 저거도 와.
And then for the mind, for the representative of the body's mind, if you, I don't know if you all have it or not, but you know the bell that we use in the puja to ring. If you have that bell, then that includes actually all the body, speech, and mind.
제가 대 저거 있는 집 짓고 공학 냠내 치고 있겠지 말이야. 대골 조가나라 샤전에 대나 차서 상게 그래서.
So that represents all the holy body, holy speech, and holy mind of the enlightened being. So it doesn't mean that if you have a bell, you are a tantric practitioner, or you have to practice tantra. Just for the respect to this representative bodies, holy body, holy speech, and holy mind of the Buddha, you can place it on your altar.
다들 제마저나 간지 다 bena shooting ita tisan da par odre mongol ra do reji so so ani gi nun jo kan da sha da ya po yore te na ta sang ko so tuk cha sang sang yo res.
And so usually the stupas, reliquaries, the stupas represent Buddha's holy mind. And so if you have a physical stupa with that shape, then of course it's perfect. But if not, then at least you can have the image of the stupa. So you can find the image of stupa and just do the printout, and then you can just put it on the altar. So it's very convenient, right? No need to get stressed.
다 팀들은 소소 쇼케지 소도 손놈 사지데 양찬로 피토나 피 아니 마토나까지 텔렌도네 몸을 야보지 잡 아니 표비 미바체는 되게 오래스.
And then in front of those images and holy images, make offerings, of like water bowl offerings if you can. If not, then you can just imagine offering. Imagine making offerings of water bowl and other things.
어찌 되네 단다 전화서부터 당학 카던데 시트에서 하던데 처음에 아버지도 그 담중해 주지 된 봐. 된다와다 단다 중앙에만 된거네 전화서 머리가 되냐나 아니 로코나 사야래 아니 내가 뭐 나도 남지 나라 양라 빠야 돼 내가도 현장가 아니 대강도 가와라도 됐네 대머리에 고 고치 뭐 그거 아무도 그러나 아니 고 소중을 저기 로리 저기 요래 아니 파드나 앞에 니제 오셔도 아니 셉다 강가도 대장소문에 레잖아 군 조명에 벤토거로 와.
So in Tibet we usually make a butter lamp offerings. So there's like a particular shape of the container in which we have the wick, and then fill it with the butter, and then make it. So nowadays they have made very very like a copy of that. They made a copy of that, and with the electricity now, right? So rechargeable, and looks like the surface is filled with the butter, and then you have a wick lighted. With lit, and it looks like that, but it's electricity rechargeable and very convenient. You just put it in charge, and then once it has fully charged, then you can light it for a couple of days. And this is very safe. We have like candles, like the tea light candles. We can make offerings, but those are sometimes a little bit risky, danger, can get fire and so forth. But this one doesn't have any, so I think you can purchase it online or somewhere. And if you can acquire that, that would be really nice, to make offerings of the light.
제가 대야보지도 그 먼저 된다 네 가지고 양라다 바나 다까지 샘플 제시가 되는 거 같이 제가 아니 대고 공천부 게 다때데 하고 마서 아니 야
So I just want to show you this.
Yeah. 제단데 배
I gave you
야보지도
this one last time. It's rechargeable, and this is light. See it?
Yeah.
Looks like a butter. This is what Geshe meant, so I just wanted to show you.
제단데 내 야보 쉬우지도 아니 예산이 가wan도 따요 아니 장소 때 대장소 좀에가 잡대 대전에 야원도 가지 네가 좋아한다 왔어.
So yeah, so this is really good. I guess let's say he will check where you can find it, and then let you know where you can buy it from. Very safe, much safer than the tea light offerings or candle tea light candle offerings, or even like the Tibetan traditional butter lamp offerings.
제가 아니 가지고 뒤치려고 쳐서. 제가 양 삼삼 양라대가 점화대가 양미카실 알지온다 다까지 망보시야도 간지 다데 네가 간데 네가 주주 아니 당가도 피해드는 간이 어디 피해요 어디
So and some people also have allergic to the candlelight smells, right? And then there can be obstacle for them to make offerings like that. But this one is really good. The main point is to offer the light, the illumination. So as long as you get the light, then that's all you need. It doesn't matter whether it's made of butter or made of wax or whatever.
제가 양에 더 고라게 맞다. 다 간데 제가 소소식 고도 삼나 대야본 동에 다 줄람도 지버려서.
So I'm not saying that you must have it. If you want to have it, then you can have something like this. I'm just giving you an example.
어디지 다 되지. 아니 가로. 막 나오소서. 어디 제가 아니 간지 소소고 소놈 사야기 신라야 다 간지 노동로잖아 아니 산지 좀 된데 그지 딱직 에메지라고 직지 아니 다 전화 람름 시험 되는지 여지 아니 되는지 조된다고 다 대선 소소고 지 가와나 연애야 보여래 아니 남주 가리나 장도 빼나 빼자 로야 돼 누르베나 간도 탭도 로치 건다 로로로 아니 얘가 그 소도 봐유상도 되네 많이 받지는데 먼저 나중에 시험이나 네가 남주 주 돈되고 선로 된게 아니 가로 니바샤는데 축구 정문에 되시 샤고 그래. 기접고 그래 탭도라.
So like that, you can arrange, set up the representative of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha in that way, in whatever way you can. If not, in then just simple way like I explained. And that for the Dharma, the text you have, you have to pay very good respect to that, should not disrespect it or just throw it on the floor and so forth. So, like especially like when you go to sleep in the night, make sure that you place it on a high table. Sometimes people fall asleep and then drop the book on the floor. That's not good. And unknowingly, accidentally, you're creating negative karma. So that's not good. Always should respect the Dharma books. So Dharma books should be respected just like the actual Dharma.
야도 소소직 대브레 존로들은 아니 인심지 때 메타다쇼 됐어. 냐마데 버지. 소소 메타다쇼나 아니 텔라 까마르라 마메 다사다는 것도 그렇게 주도 트여. 대특된데 아니 메타다 디 텔라데 쳐라고 아니 리라고 가셔셔다 아니 소소 득바사가 말이.
And so and then also if you have old and torn texts, then you can burn them. You can just burn them and then recite that verse, like the star mirage, that verse, and the impermanence, the verse of the impermanence, and just recite that and then burn it. You can burn it, and that it will be noticed. And then the the ashes, from that, you can throw it in the water, in the ocean or in the river like that.
어디 제다 다들 오토치네 되는지 단데서까지 다양한 이한차피다 띵지고 태안로도 다인요로 사원도 되는 서마제 다 간제 샘랑 선보단 되게 쇼게 야로 소선 초강을 거네 텔라 조조치는 마데 아니 지가로 대조 야부 진지 내단 됐다 보지 영어 쇼섬 아니 다 소속이 신의 그만 냠내 야부 영어 제대 아니 다 마데네 내들 진들들 영어 신들들 제고 소속이 제고 좀 연락되게 디 요추 조회 주로 냠내 차상 마 샘라 삼부지다.
So anyway, don't get stressed, thinking that, oh, I have to get this, I have to get that, I have to get water bowls, and I have to make water bowls, things like that. Don't have to think like that, like that. So you can just, if you have it, do it. If you don't have it, you can just imagine it. You can just, so that's a very simple way, of making offerings in that way also. And so the most important thing is, to do the practice, and in order for that practice to be successful, you should do all this, the 6 preparatory practices. So, like I said, set up, clean the shrine room, or the place where you're going to do the practice, and set up the representative body, speech, and mind. And then you sit down in the presence of it, and then do the visualization of the battlefield, and then do the seminal practices, starting with prostrations and so forth, and then you do that in the mandala offering. So you can do all this, in imagination. You can just sit there and think, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and like that. So I'm making prostration, I'm doing, making offerings like that. You can just imagine doing that, in your mind, all done and up to the point, like I said, where you choose the object, of your Karma-abiding meditation.
세상에도 빼잖아요. 나보스도 마서 인식이 들어가지. 소소 중하다 마서 야 피초거든. 빼자 거는 열으세요.
So it is said in the text itself, that you can offer, you can let of the things that you own or you don't own.
오케이. 어디지? 다주 당어도 신에 다 신에 공백깔라야 당보네 지 시레데 가른도 암요 그 강가 세워 어느 차 타고 말때 차에 탑시 재고 말해. 지 세도도라고 지 섭단으로잖아. 다른 깔라 셈šan데 아니 배나 까마치니 숨가세 다도 되고 그래서 양한테 양의 양지 배나 딘 tundu지 테마 뭐 채우도 왔어.
Yeah, so so then when you're visualizing the Buddha's image, the replica of Buddha's image, as your object of meditation for karma abiding, then you can just have the idea, just get the idea of Buddha's statue. That's all. Don't have to go into clear, detailed description of Buddha. Just have a general idea of the Buddha, general image of the Buddha. Don't have to go into a particular part of the body. You can just say Buddha statue there and just think like that, and just try to hold that in your mind. And if you lose it, and then recognize that you have lost it, and then go back and I'm losing it, so I have to go back, and then go back again, and then you can repeat this many times. You might have to do many times, and then as you do more and more, then it will become also less and less time for you to bring it back.
다 근데 삼담에 갈라지 삼로 셴반 고용 거래. 삼로 셴반. 대인난 삼로 셴반이 완전 만들어왔지. 아 추격하고도 대 뱉는 거래서.
And of course, when your mind gets distracted, it is important to understand that you got distracted. Something you don't know and you get carried out. Not like that, but understand that you got distracted and then bring back your mind to the object.
근데 더 전에 다 근데 이제 배나 담보배나 세도도라고 소다디 갈라 야보 이제 데이터 버전나 세오 데이터 버전나 아니 신에 아니 시레고 수없다. 배나 암조고 수없다. 근데 하고 세세세세 이것들이 봐서 좋으래서.
And so if you're able to focus on the general object, in the general object, then you can, and if you are able to hold that object for a long time, then slowly, you can get into a particular part of the object, to make it more and more clear.
제가 피게 아니 믹사가 여대 소주 믹사가 여대를 티가나 템보 지네 세오 지네 테 맞아봐 진 되고 그래서 되는 거 저기서로.
And so the object, that you're focusing on, and you should have it clear, and stable. That's very important.
양아치 깔에 크게 제뭐 대전에 주마 곰자야 마강에 자로래. 되지나 고 맞아봤지. 양 메소잡 아니 양 곰자고 그래서.
And don't do the meditation feeling tired. So if you do that, then you will not want to do it again later. And so if you feel tired, then just take a rest, and then freshen up yourself, freshen up, and then go back to do the practice.
제다 텐데게 아니 딱 하던 것도 tom가에 왔더나 까보 사빈지 탑세다 조추토 냠네다 까보 사빈지 탑레스 까지 개바 접고 그래라야 되레스 가상가 좀 펜베 탑도 끊어도 바스.
And so then, relating to our teaching on the Lamrim, last time we were talking about the five powers, right? The five powers. And so the power of the white seed, you might have seen that. That's referring to this practice, a practice involving the accumulation of merit and purification of negativities. And then you have the power of the determination, which is the motivation, setting up the motivation to do the practice, right?
어지 그러더니 곰비 탑세다 다 간지 얘들 봐 곰고래 얘들 곰리 정말 대다 다 얘는 뭐 리고라 뭐더나 파키지 투지나 민딘도래 대도 주바로 곰리 셔거래서
And then after that,
곰자들이
the power of familiarity. And then the power of familiarity is like becoming familiarized, with that, that object. And so, in order to get familiarized with that, you have to do it, more and more. More you do, more familiar you will become. Just like if you want to be familiar with somebody, then you have to meet that person again and again. And just like that, in order to be familiar with that practice, with that object, you have to do it again and again.
왜 당어도 곰시 작인다 단다 주위 추르데 지나서 들마 내 강한 라바 나지 곧 디딘다 워치 너들 요 너들 제가 요섬 까마치나 직타와치 아 디질랑아도 아니 다 산지고 고대 곰능아도 지네데도 곰고이다.
So now for our minute, we're going to do that 6 preparatory practices. Okay, so just like I explained, and then with the starting with the cleaning the room, and so all this in the mind, right? And then visualizing the merit field, and after doing the Lam-rim offerings to the merit field, then take the replica, of the Buddha, and visualize that in the space in front of you, at the level of your forehead. And then that's the focus of your that's the object of your calm abiding meditation. And now up to that we do for about a minute, and after that then we'll do the actual meditation on calm abiding, of focusing, of visualizing just that Buddha's image.
Okay. You clean your altar. You can see all your statues. Then you offering things much that you can't. Then you sit down properly. Then you visualization at the mirror field. The Buddha Shakyamuni image as a representative for all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Then you several limbs practice, prostration, offering, purify negative karmas, rejoice, record for the teaching, dedication. Again, you offering the mandala or the beautiful things for the world. Then see the Buddha's image in front of you. Become smaller, smaller. In front of your forehead, the color of the yellow color, like as you see the pictures, images. Now the focus that as much as you can, about 10 minutes. Okay, how's it? 제자 아닌데 제가 그래야 소소 미바다 세워 용어치데 어두자고 말에 가래지 산지 근데 차삼 쉐레도 세워 맞이 나까지 세도도라고 현다 다랑 간에 내 셈샤가 되고 서봐.
At this time, if you are not able to see the object clearly, that's fine. You just have to have like a object, even if it's blurry, it's fine. You just have to have some object like that there.
그래서 야 대세보 용어치데 어두자나 깔레칸에 슈만에 검자야가 아니 너바다 란도고 서레스.
And don't force yourself too much. Don't make it so difficult for you to work on that. You don't have to work, make it force or make it so difficult. You can just relax and then just easily do that. With relax. Don't force too much. If you force too much, then to have it clear vision, then you get tired and then you will not want to do it later again.
어때 대년같이 작은도 얘네 가지겠다 어두자 용모데 어두자나 아니 다 용모서는 육샤가 돼요. 대다 대년까지 오래서.
And so that's very important thing, So there's some people, they just force too much, So oh, this is not happening. I'm going to do it. You force it like that, and then you get tired, and then you just forget about it, about everything, completely. So that's not good.
제자 된다고도 딱 신의 그 아니 곰 쳤던 그 티도 나리 요래서. 지금 세보보라고 지금 다 된다고도 지금 근데 변 뭐만 담는 지금 산지 좀 된 데가 꾼다고 섭다라고 지금 세보보라고 근데 차상 샤토면 돼. 다 세보보 가랑 갈 때는 그랬어. 더 송샤스.
So it is said in the text on the Karma Binding that it's not necessary to have the object very clear and vivid from the beginning. Even if you can just have a blurry object, and then that's fine. Just important thing is to have some object there. Even if it's blurry at the beginning, it's okay. And later, as you get more and more familiar with it, then it'll become more and more clear to you.
오케이. 안에 내가 제주도다 제오자야면도 가데나 제오자면 치는 데가 요 말스 때 차페 가가나 지금도 주도 송거래.
And then other important thing is to keep one object all the time. Never change, to different objects.
근데 신에들보다 시당 곰자치고다 변해. 소수 신에라고 곰고였나?
So I mean for the karma binding meditation, okay. So of course for other things you can visualize many any kind of things you want, but for the karma binding practice, just keep one object all the time.
오케이. 제자 안에 변나 사절에 뭐바나 텔라수는 소소 쏘는 거 촉사봐. 락버드야. 아니 지금 산지 제스 템베가 아니 지금 팽에다들 마보 용거래서 아니 팽에 마보 송요래서.
And so of course if you choose the Buddha statue or Buddha's image, then there are many benefits. You of course you create a merit by just thinking about the Buddha, and you remember the Buddha, and there are other many benefits, like that of visualizing Buddha's statue instead of like a piece of rock or a piece of stick.
오케이. 다 드링아도 저 엘리멘트들 마보 주셔서 다 대까지 가도 지 삼마다다 건도 인다세.
And so I've been talking so much, some useful or many useless things, So this is, so something that you have to, practice, in order to have the successful karma binding practice.
제가 단데 신의 곰다한테 의느지나다 던지지네까지 다 치드도나 던지지 요래서 와 치드도나라.
And so you do this practice and preparatory practices to accumulate merit, and purify negativities in order to be able to achieve the realization of karma binding.
다 저거는 다 대마지나티는 신의 곰에 요 말다 대말이다. 단다테 영화도 간지 야토 야잔으로 그러면 시다 가서 그냥도 그만나지 지는 우군 조금 다가라 셈때된 르기 요래서.
And so if you don't do these 6 preparatory practices, would you not achieve karma binding? No, it doesn't mean that also. You can still achieve karma binding. This is like just adding more favorable conditions for that.
오케이. 제가 내 삶으로 땅 덤냈다. 내가 되게 저 쏘는 거 소만부 싸는 거요. 네가 뭐 다는 거요. 그래서.
If you can think in this way, think, because doing that, will purify lots of negativities and accumulate lots of merits.
어다 대딱 고뇨 타원도 지 용사 말씀나 가상 그만나지 지 우군 종거랑 검다네 다가랑 아니 산지 군다고 진돌라 삼바당에 다가랑 되는 저기 그래서.
So if you think this is too much, to think about all these things, then you don't have to do this all. you can just do like you've been doing previously. Just do the breathing meditation to bring your mind, to calm your mind, and then choose your object, and then just meditate on that. Just focus on that, and through that you can also achieve calm body.
어때 신의 검사 걸었다 뒤올만 망보요래 딱 신의 코나 빠지 곰타 신의 레거 되는 방아도 대시 잡쇼래 다 데리 가상 띵할라 때서야 아니 nembe 잡게 되는 거래.
And of course, there are more to learn about and to do in the calm abiding meditation. So that's what we started with, and then as we go along, we will discuss more on that.
오케이. 다 저도 직전에 제기절에 다 가상까지 뱀배 답들랍서 다 드리마 아니 까보 남바시 가로 까보 사벤지 답던서 있어. 다티 까보 사벤지 답사데 간제 아니 지금 아니 초사들 자체야 되레스. 아니 셈바케요 말 간제 초사들 자체야 되레스.
And so last time we talked about the power of determination, and then the second one is the power of white seed, power of the white seed. So the power of the white seed is all about accumulation of merit and purification of the negativities.
아니 대체에 단다 지들이 단다 조비 추르기 냠네들이 대나라 야라드기 냠네들인데 요래.
And then so for that, the practice to do that, and for that, is like I said, the 6 preparatory practices, which includes the 7 limb practices as well.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? Yes. Who had questions? Okay, Deborah.
I do. So Geshe, when you said that once you keep the same object of meditation, of concentration, do you mean just for that session, or for every session always use the same object?
kaloro.
신의 좀 맞춰보더라.
어때 신의 드바는 신의 드 마사오데 그랬어.
Yeah. Until you achieve calm abiding.
So always keep the same object every time. Every time. Okay.
Yeah, 드링 튼지가 대 직시 아니 선녀한 제도 튼지는 시다자 드레 말아.
드레 말에. 드레말 드레베나 치상 쇼게 신의 드나 텐타라자. 야 누구 잡다 야 페나 신의 때다 잠로데 사지도 곰초 그랬어. 곰초 그랬어.
뭐라서나 더 누구 잡고 신의 공부하나요? 그다 유 다르 공부라.
신의 공부는 야 다르 공부다.
Yeah, so if you are meditating on calm abiding, then of course, it has to be same object all the time, whichever session. If you're doing morning session, and then you have that object, and then in the afternoon you have another session, then same object. Next day, same object. Until you achieve calm abiding, same object.
야 티바라 야 곰 셴바 잡초다. 야 페나 샴바 니지 샤주섬 곰쇼 데코 곰 카레스.
Yeah, same object for the calm abiding. But of course, you can meditate on other things, like if you are meditating on bodhicitta, then it will be different thing. If you're meditating on guru devotion, it will be different things. If you're meditating on profitable river, there will be different object, But for the calm abiding, until you achieve calm abiding, use the same object.
Thank you.
Okay, Margaret.
Thank you, Geshe. I have 3 questions. Just want to clarify. This seems a little. So the replica of the visualizations of the Buddha at the level of forehead, just to confirm, this is Buddha facing us, right? This is not the one sitting on top.
Yeah, Buddha
facing us. Okay. Then second question, when you say making offerings, including offerings unowned, like not owned by us?
Yeah.
Or is it objects that are not owned by anybody?
Yeah. Anything.
Which one?
Anything.
Both can? Okay.
페나 총가로 메토다 달라 시도도 간가야 피처거래 저로다원로 메토다라니 저들나 돈소 참마 상진의 시에도 반추 삼초그래서.
So like you're in the supermarket, and then you see all these vegetables, fruits, and beautiful fruit. You can offer them all. You don't have to buy them all. Without buying, you can offer them all. And then if you're walking in the garden, in the meadow, and you see flowers and beautiful trees and hills, mountains, you can offer them all also. In your mind, you might have to take.
What about offerings that are made by other people?
They are cultural.
대우 수수 표초래. 그때 야본도 그때 건축신은 초선은 추초래.
Yes, you can offer that too. And then you can also rejoice on other people's action of making offerings.
Okay, so one more question. Sorry. So you said there are 8 good qualities of water. Do you mind sharing? Do you mind sharing now what are the 8 qualities of the water? Good qualities of water. Just briefly.
가나 셔데 또라 템바. 아니 셔데 잠보요바. 어떻게 마보지다.
So I don't know exactly all of them, but there's like few that says like the water has to be clean, it has to be it has to be very smooth, and it has to be quenching, like thirst quenching, like that. Those kind of qualities, it has mentioned like that. So anyway, good quality water, any kind of good water. Yeah.
Oh, I thought because actually in Chinese there is a prayer that we say, the water has 8 good qualities. I offer it all to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So I thought you meant the water is not what I'm not talking about the actual quality of the water we offer, but the offering qualities. But maybe I'll look it up. Thank you anyway.
No, the water that has this kind of quality. You make the offering of a water that has these qualities.
야, 대래 최대라 된데 최대리 제공 최코나 디 퀄리티 요르라 그러.
So yeah, the water that has these qualities, the water that's clean, that's clear, that's smooth, that's quenching, that's delicious, like that, all these qualities.
제다 배역이 최대 된데 싸마임바 다든도 요르라 요레스.
So they say that they said that the water in Tibet has these qualities. It's very clean, very clear, very delicious, and very quenching, thirst quenching, like that. So.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, John.
So, on my altar, I have a very wonderful picture of the Buddha, and I have been looking at it for calm abiding. But after we reach the calm abiding, that we're very much into the energy, I can't think of the word. I have the green Tara on my altar, a picture of you and the Buddha, Dalai Lama, which is Buddha, Dalai Lama, and my mother. Now, I do calm abiding, but if I do another meditation during the day, can I bring that visualization to green Tara and wishes from my mother, wherever she's at in her next journey?
그래서
그래서 신당이 너도 그 검축으로 가려는 거 무리거라. 신의 값도지 유직을 샤워 맞으 신당도 가려는 검축으로.
야야 대검축으로야.
Yeah, so if you are not doing meditation on calm abiding, then you can use any object. But if you are doing a meditation on calm abiding, then use the same object.
Okay, and it's good to do it at least once a day if you're on calm abiding.
니마치라 테마 니숨 가셔던데 그래서.
Yeah, of course, as much as you can.
Okay.
2-3 times, whatever amount of time you can spend to do, it's good to do.
근데 예를 못 채워 말이야. 맨날 가만히 있음, 가만히 있음들이 제적으로 해서.
So you don't have to do it for a long time. You can do it for a couple of minutes in here and there.
Okay.
근데 예리잖아, 야한테 템포 연구해서 말이고.
So if you do it too long from the beginning, then it doesn't become very stable and also can get tired.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Bob.
I'm wondering what we should aspire to in terms of calm abiding for this lifetime, because if you have a family, I think to achieve calm abiding, if I remember correctly, you need to do solitary retreat for some months, and for many of us, if you have a family and a job, it's not really possible to do that. So I'm wondering, but calm abiding is so important in terms of being able to control your mind. I'm wondering, what should we try to aspire to?
간제 수수 이거 마셔왔지. 강 덥덥이 지나 인지 무조건 살로마다 나한테 연구 결과 왔을 거. 간제. 니마 따바 그때 제대로이나.
또 그러겠어.
빨리 또 그러게 돼. 제 인지문제 건3 템포지 대대 거의 파지 두 그릇 되게 됐어요.
Yeah, so you do as much as you can, and if you continuously do it, and during the time when you do it, if you do it, properly without any disturbance, and focus your mind on that for whatever time you can spend to do that. And then, of course, you have other things and other time, to spend with your family and all this. But for the time that you're doing, if you can do it properly, then slowly like that, you can eventually achieve karma binding.
다시 니 말에 주도 체가라야 아니 미파 싸워요 같이 담보요 같이 검토하이나 땡땡 가서 좀 그랬던 주도 체가라야.
So you can develop slowly from like a minute to from a minute, start with minute, for 1 minute, you're able to focus for 1 minute, and then go start, then maybe increase to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like that. And if you are able to do that like that, focus like that, in a day, then eventually, you'll be able to achieve the karma binding.
제가 단단 가서 배나 까마가 벌써 까마치 대도 말은 가서 셴방어요 대도면도.
So right now, I don't know about you, but for me, I find difficult to focus even for a minute.
제가 셴바 일래고도.
Something comes in your mind immediately.
제가 되네 많이 봤지. 간지 주도 체가라야 간지 옛달라 세워요 템보요 대다나 가서 땡대션에 조금 더 그랬던.
So it's eventually like that, so increasing up to like 30 minutes, you'll be able to achieve 30 minutes of focusing without distraction, then eventually you'll be able to achieve that karma binding.
제가 아니 니 말을라야 용달라 까마 줄에라 곰 템포 시작토가 탑시 제다 아니 되네 코와 빵고 말은 남이도 보고 내가 간가 여기라 곰 제대 곰쪽으로.
So yeah, so for the time you're doing that meditation, if you can do it, for properly for like up to 10 minutes, then that's very good. So then you can increase that way. So you don't have to go away, run away from your families and job and all that. Just do it.
제당에 가산지 트레버드 benna 치즈 숨나 곰잡토나 아니 신는 버레세 아니 테마토나 아니 고 접탄 되게 말세 그런데 까지 곰도 치는 마트와치 치즈 숨 대통령이 좋아해나.
And so usually it stays, for a long time. When you have achieved karma binding, then you don't feel tired, you don't get distracted, you have mental plans and physical plans. So you don't get, distracted, you're getting tired. And so that's, usually, there's nobody says, how much like that, but, but in general, if you can focus like that, without, distraction, without physical pain, for 3 hours, then you have achieved karma binding.
제가 자나가 단다 가르고 삼델 루세 콘조 치즈 싱가들 대대거든요. 콘조 가르나 미세 삼야 태야케메 가라 셈코나 가르고 타 니로 코네 대대거 다테 노르데요 간조 남벨라나 테 노르데요레스.
So so that's in Chinese tradition they have this samadhi tradition, so they meditate for 4 or 5 hours, without distraction. But the problem with them is that they have no objects of meditation. They don't think of anything. So that's the problem for us. According to Buddhism, that's not correct. So you have to, when you're meditating on something, you're familiarizing your mind with something, then you have to have something, to think about.
테니 곰잡대와나 티가가지야 소소 르팔 누었다. 르팔 삼야 테 메가 마차르고 서와.
And so that can also, cause damage to your mind, because your mind then becomes, like kind of unfunctional.
제가 미디시라 조화명이라고 차르고서 데테 중국에서 데테다 고 마누라한테 뺏는 거야 서와.
And so then you don't get any feelings, you don't get any thoughts, you don't get any feelings, right? And so your mind, becomes a little bit damaged. So that's not good. You have to, when you do the meditation, you have to do it in a correct way.
제가 서차당 아니 가르고.
Nature.
내가 니자 요거서데 꽂는 것이 가도 지금도.
And so that's what we focus, on, emphasize on these two things, like the clarity and stability.
제당아도 레모지 따고이나 배난 처음에 배나 로지데 세워요 봤지. 대야 라바 템보 섬나 쿠피 따다 동거로 된다고시.
So like, if you are looking at something in the dark, right? And then you have to have a light and you have to have stable hand. If your hand keeps moving, then you will not see the object clearly. If you have a clear light and stable hand, then you will see the object clearly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Jeff.
Yeah. So how do I put this? Should I keep getting discouraged because I get it like clear. I get the image clear, but then it like, a couple seconds later, it'll get blurry, I mean, I can hold my thoughts from straying, but the image itself, I have a tough time keeping the image clear.
No.
Da koran selcha de habu dosa. Da de ganzo the selcha da na seltana no de 통통 도도 들어야 아나 다 뿌라 sel부하고 통통 도사.
대개요 말이야. 세우면 담복해요 말. 다라 대지. 대가나 템포 데이터 왔지. 아니 가로 셈 셈발 많이 왔지 내가 작도.
So that's okay if you are if you are able to keep your mind on that, on the object, even if it's not clear, even if it's blurry, that's fine at the beginning, And the most important thing is to not get distracted to other objects. If you can hold your mind onto that, even if it's a blurry object, just hold on that, and then as you get more used to it, then you'll be able to make it more and more clear.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, looks I don't see anyone's hands. Then hope everyone do a little bit meditation. 제가 나도 곰 때때 자고서 곰 맞아서 나도 배나 칼라로 소약 잘라 간가 장로네 와지 칼라 마사야 되대 봐지 봐 있어래. 제가 나도 희와더니 팬 도금도.
So yeah, meditation is very important in whatever way you can meditate. That's good, I mean, small, big, long, short, whatever you can do. That's good. You have to do it, You have to do some meditation. And without meditation, just knowing the knowledge, just not enough. And so therefore, it's important to do the meditation. And so do whatever you can every day.
간제 라레 따고는 아무 나 추세야 될 라레 따야 되는 거지 모르도.
So it's like putting into practice is very important. Just like having a food in the refrigerator and having it prepared all, but if you don't eat it, you don't fill your stomach. It's just like that.
다 라레 따서 뭔가도야 차도 배 고대원으로 쉬어이나. 맞아 남주 먹게와 저기 영화 와도 만들어도 뺏는 것이 뭐래셔.
Yeah. So your mind is thinking, right? So when you're thinking, oh, this is good, you're meditating. You're meditating. And so you think about, the non-10 non-virtuous actions. Oh, this is bad. I should not do this. I should not do that. You're thinking like that, and then that helps you to not do it.
제가 미세게 변나 이쯤에게 왔으면 뒤가 끊어 지내는 가서 다 링하고 시작하는 연구를 제가 뒤 끊어 시작한 말을 왔는 거도.
And then especially the three from the mind, the covetousness, ill will, and wrong view. So because of these three, then we engage in the physical and verbal actions, and therefore it is first important to control these three.
제가 롱뷰에서도 빼는 거죠. 대 롱뷰에서 이제 인심지 렌즈에다 경험해 가지고 수수 따와대 대인 삼이 슈치 무슨데 대라 지금 정도는 나도 코너 사용도 왔다. 대 수수 따와대 오늘 렌드가 문제가 잡으러 파는 지 따고도 와.
So the wrong view is just the wrong thought, So wrong thinking, wrong thought, right? All these are wrong view. It doesn't have to be like not believing karmic or cause and effect, not believing past and future lives, not like that. Not only that, And even if like holding very strongly to one's one thought or one's one opinion, saying that whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm doing is right, and what other people are thinking is not right, like that, They could be right, you could be wrong, like that, but. We don't think that way, but we always think that, oh, whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm doing is right. And so that is the most, the wrong view I think we have. Because all the problem comes from that thought. We're not able to, let go of our idea. We always think whatever I'm thinking is right.
제가 넘블레 요라가 대랑 열어서
So all the problem in the world comes from that, right? Thinking that my thinking is correct, my idea is correct, and things has to go according to my idea, like that.
Okay. 제자 냠리 제자도 오 다tin 드문도 다치 가디나 같이 내 삼로도 지키는 가디나 같은 효라고도 다 지금 드문도 섬네 텔라 섭주자고 그래다.
So when you do the practice meditation on that, and it's, always thinking that I am right, it has to be my way, is the problem maker, and so therefore I should not have that wrong view. You have to in your mind you think like that, then you will not hold too strong to your ideas and your views.
Okay. Okay. Now today what we did, like 6 karo, Joey Chudu te Karim Batino, take in Tiagum Chetanda watch. Talabiore, and it takes something never see.
So to sum up, what we did today, you can think of the karma body, of course, in general, and then especially the 6 preparatory practices. So remember that.
And take Guba Cardana, Sonongo Tosayada, and it Dipata.
And the purpose of doing that, is to purify the negativities and to accumulate merit.
And it take all a channel of Chatan Shedana, and it in Goliath, and it and the Chapeta and Goliath.
The negativities, the unfavorable conditions, right, the obstacles, and the merit, the favorable conditions. So that helps us to do the practices like that. So if you want to know more detail, then you can go back, to your text at the beginning of the liberation of the palm of your hand, and it explains there also very clearly and extensively.
Okay. And the Teneda Shenetis Gomsho, Shene Gomekavlaya, and Kadina, Shoke Gomna, Gonda Gana, Nigo Gomna, and Mibad Kadina Chik, some Gogas.
And so then try to do the karma body meditation whenever you can, whether you do in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but always keep one object. Don't change again to the different objects again and again. Just keep one object.
Okay. And so those who choke on a gum to the level of Sojula Chita, Kuzon to tend to carry in the teletable that I am Naya Simchila parents and Konaji Yoma show, some goddess, some Jatama than the Yoma shows.
And then also when you're making offerings in the altar, look through the holy objects, view the objects, and think about their excellent qualities, and aspire, for their qualities within yourself, to benefit others just like they do.
Okay. Is it enough? The thing is, you did it over there. Did it over here.
So that's the sum up.
Okay. Now we can finish.
Sa shi perki ching me tok tram ri rabling jini de gien pa di sangye jing du mig te uwagi drokun nam da jing la cher pa shug je tsun la me kutse rab ten jing nam ka trin le chok cher ge pa dang lo sang ten pedrin me sa sumgi trowe mun sel tuk tu nig yur chig yidam guru rat namandalakam niryatayami. From my 2 collections, vast as space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Savior of the Snowland teachings and transmigratory beings who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion, to the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as a bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Mahayana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained a Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Mig se wei ter chen chen rezik, dream kin pei wang po jom pel yak, gong chen ke pei su gen Tsongkhapa, lo sang drak pei Jab la soa de. Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Damchula.
A couple quick notes. So this coming week, Dr. Nick Rinpoche continues teachings tomorrow starting at 7 on transforming problems into happiness. And then Wendy is doing yoga and meditation on Tuesday at 7. Geshe-la continues commentary on the Heart Sutra at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And then on 7 o'clock on Thursday, there's Medicine Buddha Puja. And also one-on-one meetings with Geshe-la following immediately after this.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Have a wonderful day.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Bob.
Thank you, everybody.
Be safe, everyone.
Thank you,
Stay
Dr.
warm.
you.
Stay warm.
Oh, Margaret, you said something. You moved yourself.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Just want to make a quick announcement to just a reminder. If you're not on our mailing list, please go to the website and click and be on our list. This is how we communicate with you. And also, if you find our teachings as helpful to you, if you're new to the center, we'll welcome some support. Please hit the donate button on the website. Thank you so much. Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Damchula.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bob.
Bob.
Bye.
Bye-bye.